Hello and welcome back to the Satoshi Society YouTube channel. My name is AJ, one of the hosts here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin charts, and we're also going to be talking about why this is such a big month for the price of Bitcoin, and especially for the price of Bitcoin as well. Okay, this month is really going to determine whether the price of Bitcoin is going to begin this bull market or whether we are going to see another leg towards the downside, potentially forming a new low of the bear market. Okay, I just want to reiterate it that this month is a very big month. We do have a lot of things happening this month that are going to, as I said, help determine where the price is going to go. Because as of right now, the price is Bitcoin is very unsure on where it wants to go. So we're going to talk about that in today's video. But before we do get into the video, please make sure you smash a like on this video. It would really help me out, really help the channel out, and I would really appreciate it as well. So please just make sure you smash a like, and if you're new, subscribe, turn the bell notification on as well, so you never miss any of the trades that I take or any of the analysis that I give you either. So now without any further ado, let's jump straight on into the charts and take a look at what is happening to Bitcoin. And what we can see is Bitcoin is still ranging. Okay, we're still seeing Bitcoin range within this fixed range. I have been looking for some potential longing or shorting opportunities within this fixed range, but I just haven't seen any as of yet. You can see that the price has sort of been, going from value area low to value area high, value area high down to value area low, value area low back to value area high. So, there are trading opportunities here, but I just don't see the confluence for me to actually enter into that trade. So for me, I haven't been trading this as such. For me, I like to look for 3 bits of confluence, and I'm not going to bring that to the channel either, because I like to look for 3 bits of confluence in order to enter a trade. But I just haven't seen 3 bits of confluence here to enter into a long position or even enter into a short position either. So I just haven't done that. But what I was telling you yesterday is that, we were up here at value area high. Okay, we were coming into resistance. And I was telling you that I would expect the price to pull back from here and potentially come to value area low. Okay, the price has pulled back like I expected it to. However, we didn't come to the target that I did give you, which was the value area low at around $22,247. Okay, that target hasn't been hit yet. I still think that target could be hit, especially now that we've actually broken towards the downside of this sort of symmetrical triangle, just triangle pattern right here. We've got multiple tests of the resistance up here, 3 tests there, and of the support we have 4 tests, and then we have literally just broken towards the downside. No volume coming in. And to be honest with you, I don't tend to trade this way anyway. I don't tend to trade patterns like this. If you've been following the channel for a while, you will know that I like to short resistances, confluence of, resistance with lots of confluence coming in, horizontal level, bearish divergence, maybe a previous high as well, forming some sort of swing failure pattern, or a value area, something like that. 3 bits of confluence telling me to enter into a short position. But right now, I'm not entering into this short position because, first of all, I don't tend to trade this way. Second of all, on the break towards the downside, there was no big spike in volume, so doesn't look as though the price is going to continue towards the downside. Fairly quickly. Okay, it would if we were to get a lot of volume in, but I'm just not seeing that volume coming in. Unless that volume comes in, we could potentially form a fake out here. And if we do form a fake out here, we could see the price push back up to this resistance here. Okay, and then maybe even break towards the upside here, because the majority of the time when we do get a fake out towards the downside, the price tends to reverse and does in fact break towards the upside, and vice versa as well. If it breaks towards the upside, there is a fake out. Okay, then the majority of the time it does end up coming down to the support and breaking out and actually playing out towards the downside. So if we do get a fake out here, we could be looking at the price actually coming up to resistance and then breaking out of resistance and then moving much higher. That's what I would be looking for. But yeah, right now we've broken towards the downside. There's still 42 minutes left of this candle, so we could still get a rejection from this resistance level, as in we get another red candle down here. But for me, I'm not entering into any short position as of yet, because first of all, I'm already in a position. I'm already in a short position, which if you've been following the channel, you know that I brought this to the channel. You know that I brought this short position from all the way up here, okay, all the way up from, let's bring it up onto Twitter just so I remind myself. From $24,730, we entered into a short position. Big confluence of resistance coming up there. Horizontal level, we had a golden pocket and we had a bearish divergence as well coming into play. So I entered into that short position. I did come live just before I entered into that short position as well, letting you know that I was entering into that short position. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not entering into a short or adding to that short position, because I'm already in a position. Second of all, we have the break towards the downside, but there is no big spike in volume. And third of all, this is just not how I tend to trade anyway. So, I'm not going to enter into that. I know a lot of people do tend to trade these breakouts of patterns, but for me, it's not normally the way I trade. But the reason why I've charted this on my charts, and I am looking at this, is because we could potentially be taking this as some sort of bear pendant. Okay, we could be taking this as a bear pendant right here, as a pendant, this triangle. And then we have the flag from up here. So this could be taken as a bear pendant, and if it is going to break towards the downside, which it already has, but if it's going to get that confirmed break towards the downside, then we could see a much bigger move, and this could be the pattern that takes us down to the target that I do have, that medium-term target of $21,470 approximately. Okay, I do still think that's a pretty realistic target that the price could come to. The reason being is because it's that next major level on the daily chart, and the reason why I entered this trade was because of this daily chart here. So that sort of final TP for the trade that I'm currently in would be at around $21,470. Okay. So we still have a little bit of a way to go, but what we can see here on this daily chart, and even if we zoom into the smaller time frames, is that we had a bear flag right here, continuation towards the downside, and it looks as though right now we could be forming another bear flag right here, which could take us down to that $21,470 level. Bear flag, bear pendant, whatever we want to take it as. If we come and have a look at the 4 hour, we could actually take this as a very clear bear flag. Okay, if we draw something like this, multiple tests of that resistance. Let me just get rid of this so we can see it a little bit clearer. Multiple tests of that resistance, as you can see, and multiple tests of that support if we're looking at it on the 4 hour. So we could take this as a bear flag on the 4 hour as well. But yeah, as of right now, just looking at that 1 hour, because we are still ranging between this fixed range, and if we are going to get this confirmed break towards the downside, then we could see that continuation towards the downside for Bitcoin. So for me, still looking at the short term, I'm sort of sat neutral because we are ranging. Okay, I'm not bullish or bearish in the short term. I'm just waiting for something to happen, and there is a reason why the price is ranging like this, which I'll mention in a second. Medium term, I'm still bearish, okay? And long term, I'm still bearish as well, okay? Long term, I'm going to remain bearish. Well, medium to long term, I'm going to remain bearish if we're going to remain below $25,200. I've said that multiple times now, but if we stay below $25,200, I'm going to remain bearish in the medium to long term, okay? Short term, obviously, I can flip bullish and bearish because that will change on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, to be honest with you, I still think we could go lower. And I still think there could be a new low of the bear market as well. It's not 100%, but there still is a possibility. And especially with what's potentially going to happen fundamentally wise, we could see that as well. So we will talk about that in a second, and we will talk about why the price is just ranging sideways in a second. But I want to have a look at the DXY. Okay, again, the DXY looks as though it's getting a slight rejection from this major resistance here. Okay, yes, but then again, if we come into these smaller time frames, taking a look at the 4 hour, what have I said yesterday? Well, I said it's looking as though we're potentially forming a bull flag here on the 4 hour chart. even the 8-hour chart as well, on the DXY, okay, which is a very, very bullish sign. And as we know, when the DXY is bullish, okay, we're looking at Bitcoin being bearish, okay? When the DXY goes up, what happens to Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin goes down, okay, and vice versa. When the DXY goes down, Bitcoin is going up. So there are a few factors why Bitcoin is ranging right now. One of them is because the DXY is doing the same thing. The DXY is just consolidating and sort of consolidating towards the downside, okay? And consolidation towards the downside is actually a bullish it is a very bullish scenario. Okay, so if we're ranging towards the downside, that is bullish. Okay, so the reason why I'm more bearish another reason why I'm more bearish medium to long term is because the DXY is looking bullish, which is bearish for Bitcoin. Okay, so we're yet to know whether the DXY is going to break this major resistance or get a rejection. But once we get a clear direction on the DXY, it will also give us a clear direction of where Bitcoin is going to go as well. So if we break towards the upside of this resistance, Bitcoin's going lower, much lower, okay, because the DXY will most likely come up to 109 and vice versa, okay. If we get rejected from this major resistance, invalidate this bull flag, okay, breaking towards the downside, then we're most likely going to come down to 101 on the DXY, which is going to be very bullish for Bitcoin, okay. We could potentially even break $25,200 if that were the case, okay. But yeah, for now, the DXY is ranging, okay, ranging slightly towards the downside, which is why we're seeing Bitcoin while we're seeing Bitcoin range right now. Okay. Another reason why, well, before we go into that next reason, let's have a look at the ES quick. ES is at resistance. Okay. If we're going to break resistance, we could come higher to this major resistance. If we get rejected from this resistance here, we could come back down to major support here, which if we break that towards the downside, then I would expect much lower price targets for the traditional markets, which would also lead into the Bitcoin markets, into the crypto market as well. So Bitcoin would most likely have a much bigger pullback. Okay, but going back to why we are seeing Bitcoin range, why we are seeing that DXY range, is because of the fundamentals. Okay, and this is because of the fundamentals. We have a lot going on this month, a lot. Okay, so today we have Jerome Powell, okay, testimony. So at 3 o'clock UK time, okay, UK time today, 3 o'clock, we do have Jerome Powell, who is going to be talking, okay, and I will potentially come live for this, or I'll come live afterwards, depending on what he says, if he says anything important. But yeah, today he's going to give us some hints. I'm guessing he's going to give us some hints on whether he's going to be more hawkish or whether he's going to be more dovish. Okay, hawkish meaning he's going to be a lot harsher with the interest, with the Fed interest rate increases, with the yeah, well, let's come on, have a look at these here with the FOMC meeting. Okay, the interest rate decisions. Okay, hawkish, meaning that he's going to be a lot harsher with the interest rate decisions. Maybe increasing by 50 basis point rate hike, and dovish, meaning that he's going to be quite mellow with it, as in potentially a 25 basis point rate hike. But again, I'm guessing that. Again, 25 basis points. I'm not guessing. I just know that it's not good for the market, okay? It's a fact. It's not good for the market. We saw this throughout 2022, okay? The market would react bullishly coming into it, bullishly afterwards. But then initially, we would see the price of Bitcoin pull back, okay? Whether it was a 25, a 50, a 75, okay, basis point rate hike. And we can see it right here, okay? 25. Throughout the whole of 2022, we did see the price pump coming into the FOMC meeting, pump afterwards, and then dump. Okay, and I would expect the exact same thing. Okay, so if he was to react, if he was to speak hawkishly, okay, I would expect the market today. If he was going to speak hawkishly today, I would expect the markets to pull back. Okay, I would expect the markets to have a negative reaction to that. If he was to talk dovishly, okay, then I would expect the markets to react fairly bullishly to that. So we're going to have to see how the markets to react to what he says today. But again, we have the exact same thing tomorrow, 8th of March as well, the exact same thing, okay? And that's potentially going to move the market. So this is what the markets are waiting for. They're waiting for Jerome Powell to speak, to sort of have that clear direction on where the market is going. In the short term, I would say, and the reason why I'm saying this would be in the short term is because next 7 days, what have we got? Well, we've got the non-farm payrolls unemployment rate as well, which is going to be a big market mover. We also have the core inflation rate year over year and the inflation rate year over year as well, which is going to be a very big mover as well. Okay, non-farm payrolls. Remember, last time, okay, the non-farm payrolls came out, they came out a lot higher than expected. Okay, a lot higher than expected, than they forecasted. Okay. So if this is going to come in a lot higher than forecasted again, then we're going to see a negative reaction to the markets once again. Okay, same with the unemployment rate. If that comes in lower than expected, okay, or lower than forecasted, we're most likely going to see that market pull back. Okay, what the Fed want to see is that the unemployment rates are actually, going up. They want to see unemployment, but it's been looking good. Okay, there have just been more and more jobs coming up. So to be honest with you, I'm not too confident that the Fed are going to be right. Well, sorry, the forecast is going to be hit. Okay, I do think non-farm payrolls is going to come in higher than expected again. Okay, and I also think unemployment rate is going to come in lower than forecasted, which again, is not good for the markets. Okay, what we want to see. Okay, is that for the markets to be bullish, we want to see non-farm payrolls come in as expected, or even lower. Okay, and we want to see unemployment rate come in higher. Okay, obviously, that's not what we really want, okay, because it's of course horrible when there is not enough jobs for people and when unemployment rate is high. It's not nice for people. But then again, if we want the markets to go up, okay, we want to see that happen. Okay, we want to see employment rates go. We want to see unemployment rate being a lot higher. Okay, again, that is 10th of March. Okay, so 10th of March is going to be a very big day. I will come live for that data as well. That's at 1:30, so I will come live for that data release. And then 14th of March, okay? 14th of March at 12:30, we have core inflation rate year over year and inflation rate year over year as well, which is going to be very important. Okay, we have the Fed interest rate decision in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 1 day, 5 hours and 29 minutes. Okay, if core inflation rate year over year and inflation rate year over year comes in higher than expected, what is Jerome Powell most likely going to be forced to do? Well, he's most likely going to be forced to instead of release a 25 basis point rate hike, he's going to be forced to put out a 50 basis point rate hike, which the market is most likely going to react bearishly to. Okay, so we've got to be very careful of that. And we've actually seen the analysts sort of change their decision over the past few weeks as well, because what we saw, maybe a couple of weeks ago, we saw that there was a 99.9% of the analysts thought that it was going to be a 25 basis point rate hike. But now some of the analysts are changing what they are saying. Okay, then now almost 30% of the analysts think that it's going to be a 50 basis point rate hike. Okay, and this is, not accurate as of yet. The closer the closer that we get to the Fed interest rate decision, the more accurate this comes, okay? Because there is data that could really change this right now, okay? And that, first of all, mainly is the core inflation rate year over year and the inflation rate year over year. This is really going to change this decision, okay? If inflation rate year over year and core inflation rate year over year comes in as expected, okay, then I would expect that the majority of the analysts think that we're going to get a 25 basis point rate hike. However, if it comes in a lot higher than expected, then I would expect a lot of the analysts to change their decision and potentially even expect a 50 basis point rate hike, which of course I would not expect to be good for the market. Okay, either way, if it's a 50 or a 25 basis point, okay, especially if it's a 25 basis point rate hike, I would expect the market to pump coming into it, pump afterwards, and then dump shortly after. Same with a 50 basis point rate hike. There would be two expectations for me. The price of Bitcoin would either pump coming into it, pump afterwards, and then dump, or the price would just dump. For me, I would expect it to just dump if it was a 50 basis point rate hike, because now Jerome Powell is being forced to increase by an increased amount. But as I said, if it's a 25 basis point rate hike, we're most likely going to do what we normally do, and that's pump coming into it, pump afterwards, and then dump shortly after. Okay, but yeah, we'll have to see. But as I said, this month is a very, very big month, and the price of Bitcoin is sort of just waiting for the for Jerome Powell to speak, for what else? The non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, core inflation rate year over year, and inflation rate year over year as well. The markets are most likely just holding out to wait and see what Jerome Powell says, and waiting for this data to come out. That is why we are seeing the market range at the moment. And that's why we are also seeing that DXY range towards the downside as well. Range sideways, but slightly towards the downside. Okay. Let's just have a look at some of these comments as well. Hi AJ, is Ben okay? Haven't seen him in a while. Yes, Ben is perfectly fine. He is just doing other things at the moment. If we can get these views up, hopefully we can get him back and get him doing more videos as well. So if you could all just smash that like button, it would really help me out, really help the channel out. We just need to get the views up on this channel, and yeah, we can continue to bring this content out for you. Anish M, double bottom. Are you talking about a double bottom for Bitcoin? Potentially, if we come down to the previous lows, we could see a double bottom. Yes, but for me, I would expect lower. Gox creators also receiving payments from 10th of March onwards, which could push Bitcoin down. Okay, to be honest with you, I tend to just look at data and what the charts are telling me. I don't tend to really look at the news, especially not whilst we're in a bear market, okay? Because, all the news that comes out is going to be bearish anyway. And news that does come out doesn't tend to really affect the market unless it's something major, such as FTX. And I know we got this whole Binance. I haven't really looked into it properly yet, because as I said, I am more of an analyst, a technical analyst, rather than judging my trades off of the news. But yeah, I know that the SEC are looking into them as well. I assume they're receiving their payments in Bitcoin. Silverbank, Mark Gox, Binance FUD, ETH Unlock. Yeah, that Binance FUD. The thing is with that Binance FUD, it's going to affect every single exchange. That's this is that's the sort of worrying thing. If they're going in on Binance, if the SEC are going in on Binance, they're not just going in on Binance, they're going in on every exchange in the US. Okay, every exchange which is used by any US citizen. Okay, so that's the slightly worrying thing. Let's have a look. Bitcoin was worth under 1K when it's happened. Damn, those are some big refunds. Maybe investing in a falling exchange is the best way to hodl. In a failing exchange, is the best way to hodl. Yeah, Bitcoin was at 800 when it crashed. When was this? All the way back in. To be honest, I wasn't even in Bitcoin at that low. I got in Bitcoin just as COVID hit, just as the pandemic hit. But yeah, that was a long time ago. Back when Bitcoin was at $800. That was all the way back, 2014, 2015. Bear markets. But yeah, we'll have to see how this Binance FUD plays out. As I said, if they're going after Binance, they're going after every single exchange in the US. So yeah, that's not looking too good for any exchange really, if they are going into Binance. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I've got for you today. Today I will potentially come live for this for Powell's speech. Okay, if it is going to move the market, and depending on what he says, I might come live afterwards as well. But we got that. We got a big week coming in. Non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, core inflation rate year over year, inflation rate year over year. These are going to be big market movers. So we really need to pay attention to what is happening this week, okay, because of those things. Again, the price of Bitcoin is just ranging. But if anything happens, of course, I will come live and I will update you with anything that happens. And again, if there's any trades that I'm going to take, you will be the first people to know about it as well. So if that all sounds interesting, please make sure you smash a like on this video. It really helps me out, really helps the channel out. And yeah, I can continue to bring the trades that I bring to this channel as well. Yeah, if you enjoyed, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe, turn that bell notification on, and I will see you potentially later on today for the summary of what Jerome Powell says. If not, I will see you tomorrow for the normal live stream. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I will see you later for the potential stream later on or tomorrow. So thank you very much, guys. See you later.